Welcome to Growth Amplifiers. Kenny Harper here, and this is the show for advisors, coaches, and consultants who want to build a business that does more than just grow, it amplifies. We have an amplifier here today that is helping people really make sure that they're getting the advice that they need. There's a lot of people out there that are just checking the box. They're just doing the basics, and that is not the Neal way of doing things. He's the founder of the Neal Group and has helped over 1,000 service-based businesses ethically increase their profits by 32% or more annually using the exclusive Neal Deal strategy. He's really been a pioneer at finding a way to help people increase profits, and I'm glad to have him here today. Jon, thanks for being here at Growth Amplifiers.
Thanks for having me, Kenny.
Jon, you're a pioneer when it comes to helping people not just check the box, but look at things and help increase profitability. You've got your own methodology of doing it, the Neal Deal strategy. Can you get us kicked off and just kind of share a little bit more about what is that strategy? What is your unique approach that helps you get those amazing results? A lot of people want to grow their business and they want it more profitable, and they probably could tune in right now with all the changes happening in the economy.
Yeah, I guess first a little backstory, which kind of explains a lot of why we're doing what we are. Before I went into accounting and got my CPA license, I was going to be a teacher. So I like educating my clients on what's available and letting them make the decision based on, hey, if you do this, I can save you $1,000. If you do this, you'll save 3 hours a week. And we sit down and go through it with them. And I think a lot of my clients appreciate that I'm not talking down to them. I'm not using all the accounting speak, if you will, and throwing IRS code sections around and accounting terms. I'm just saying, hey, if you buy this piece of equipment, you're going to be able to make more money. And here's how.
What I like about what you're saying is it's a real straightforward conversational way of helping people. And I do see that as a mistake that some other people who are maybe trying to do more advisory or coaching get caught up in the weeds. They're talking a lot of strategies and laws and different techniques that their clients don't even understand. It goes over their head. They feel overwhelmed.
Yeah. Or it's not appropriate for them.
Or it's
I've had experts come in and talk about, if you put $100,000 into a retirement plan, you can save $40,000 in taxes. And I talk about it with my clients, and I'm like, you don't have $100,000. You don't want to go borrow the $100,000 to save 40 because that's stupid. And they go, oh yeah, I guess you're right.
Yes, it would not be good to do the wrong things. And some people, I guess, could be too focused on short-term, not thinking of long-term.
Very true.
In your career, you've seen some things that have worked out. You've seen changes in the economy. Sometimes we're doing things, everything's going the right way. When was the time that you ran into a challenging situation in your business, whether it's the economy or through a client or something, that just made you have to step back and work through that challenge and break through? We all run into those challenges in our careers.
Yeah, I've had several instances, which are good news, bad news, where I had somebody who was on my team leave and take some business with them. And it's good in the sense that I was able to teach them, if you will, how to do things that they felt comfortable enough to leave. But it's also bad when they take 30% of your business with you. with them.
Ouch.
But
Yeah, that sounds
we
pretty
just
painful.
hunkered down and regrouped and grew even more.
That is the good thing. Did you change any policies or have any next time I'm going to do things different?
Not really. My thought was that if the team member that left had the main contact with the client, wasn't going to stay with me anyhow, regardless of whether it was going with Susie or just going someplace else. Just like I talk with a lot of prospective clients and we talk about why they want to switch, and it's because they aren't getting the service from the person that they're using now.
And there's definitely going to be people on a team that they're part of the team. They're going to stick with the team. They like having a home. They just want to continue on being in a good place. You provide a good company. And there's some people that just, they get the entrepreneurial itch. They have it. It's in their DNA. And they get to a point in their life and they're like, maybe I want to try that.
Yeah.
And they see, if I do this, then look, I'll have my own business in my, they see the green pasture.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
In
My background, it's not the greener pasture. My background, I used to work for a lot of advertising agencies, and I saw that happen to the advertising agencies too. The account executive would have the relationship, and then they're looking at the agency's making a lot of money. I'm getting a portion of that. I can have all the money.
Right.
But then they've got to do all the work. They got to have all the risk.
Initially, yes. But yeah, when I talk with people, we do a fair number of restaurants in our area. And when I talk to people, it's, hey, just because you like to cook or you like to eat doesn't mean you can run a restaurant.
That is true. I worked at a restaurant for a few years. I worked at an Outback Steakhouse in my late teens, early 20s, and worked in the kitchen, did some server.
Yeah, that was my first job. I was a busboy.
I definitely think running the restaurant is crazy. And we're speaking about restaurants. I've heard a lot of people, especially in the financial world, say restaurants, oh, they're challenging, they're tough, it's hard to make them profitable. How do they occur to you? How are you able to help them be successful and help them transform and be profitable?
Yeah, number one, we sit down and temper their expectations, but then we also use our strategies and our tools to monitor everything. We had I guess you call it a white cloth restaurant, upscale dining, that started and couldn't figure out why his liquor costs were so high.
Mm.
And typically liquor costs run around 20 to 25%. His was running 45 to 50%. And so we took a look at his systems and found out that he had zigged when he should have zagged, if you will, and put wrong numbers in the POS system. And so he was undercharging for a lot of drinks. And we instituted some changes there and put some other controls in. Cases of Grey Goose vodka were not walking out the back door. And now he's very successful, and he's been written up in a number of magazines for his cuisine and decor and stuff like that. So it's just, again, it's just talking with your clients and asking questions. Why is this there? Why is that there?
Some people who are trying to be advisors get a little bit intimidated because they think, I don't have all the answers. And I think what you're honing in on there that's really powerful. It's, you don't necessarily need to have all the answers. You could ask more questions and then help guide someone. They're going to probably have a better perspective on what's going on in their business, and you can help them make decisions by asking better questions. And sometimes you might give them advice, you might give them recommendations, but they might go in one ear and out the other. How do you tend to handle when you're giving clients advice and for whatever reason they're just not making traction with it? How do you tend to handle that?
Sometimes, unfortunately, you just have to say, hey, Kenny, you're not listening to what I say. I'm making suggestions based on my 40 years of experience that this will work. And if you're not going to listen to me, you aren't going to be in business very long. And I think it's best that we part ways. Other times, if you talk enough times and pound it into them, they get the picture. Or somebody else, you get somebody else to say it as well when you're talking to their banker, and you say, hey, you might want to mention to Fred that this is happening, and they get the idea and implement it. But as we have an expression here in the firm that says, we can't care more about your business than you do.
Yeah, that's a good expression. And it does sometimes, I've run into some of those people because I do coaching and advisory more from a marketing, sales, and growth perspective. And it does sometimes seem like I might be caring more about your business than you do. And it's odd. But I guess some people they've lost that mojo, or maybe they didn't have it and they're just checking the box.
Yeah.
Now we're living in this interesting divided political world at the moment. It seems like we've got this big divide of politics. I'm not going to get into politics, but I will talk about the economy because we hear just completely different stories on what to believe with the economy. The economy is doing great. It's doing horrible. We've got tariffs coming in. It's going to wreck everything. It's going to be the best thing. We've got the big, beautiful bill. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be awful. It's really hard to tell. And no one has a crystal ball, but I'm just curious to know what's your take on not needing to get into the politics side and just what you're seeing in the market.
Again, we have a good number of restaurants, and as far as the restaurant industry goes, people just aren't going out as much. Or if they are going out, they aren't spending as much. It used to be that you could count on the liquor part of the restaurant to make the profit. Now people aren't drinking as much. So you have to be able to adjust. And unfortunately, some can't adjust fast enough. We just had another restaurant in the paper yesterday that is going out of business because they can't afford it. And costs are going up. Vegetables are going up, whether they're domestic or foreign. People want more money. Your cooks will jump ship for a 10-cent an hour raise across the street. And in essence, you really just have to hunker down and see if you can weather the storm.
Yes. One of the books that I really thought was cool is The Experience Economy. Just talks about how you really need to pay attention to that experience that people have. The ambiance depends on the restaurant, I'm sure, but the ambiance, the customer service, the things that make it a small little touches that makes it a much better experience. One of my favorite restaurants around here in Jacksonville, Florida, they raise their prices, but they also seem to do shrinkflation. It seems like they reduce their portion sizes, and that's not a good strategy if you want people to come back. If they're used to getting one thing, and then you're paying more and getting less, you're like, I don't want to come back. I'm leaving a little hungry. What are you guys doing?
Well, or if you do that, you have to explain why you're doing it too. And a lot of people will understand. Yeah. And we have some Mexican restaurants where avocados have doubled in price or tripled in price. You want guacamole, you need the avocados. They just say, hey, our guacamole price tripled. We have to raise the price.
You have to do what you have to do. So what restaurants are one type of businesses
Yeah,
and
we
industries that
we
you work with?
do a fair amount of people in construction, the trades, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, that type of thing, and they're feeling the pinch too. A lot of it has to do with post-COVID. Everybody was getting this free money with all the credits and the rebates, so they were staying at home and looking at their place and going, yeah, we really need a new furnace and an air conditioner, or we should really remodel the bathroom, stuff like that. So they were really busy during the COVID years. Now it's tapered off. And again, costs are going up. Just in general, inflation has increased costs. I'm not even counting the tariffs on stuff that's imported and whatnot. So again, you've got to have, and one of the things that we kind of stress is you need good financial information to see where you are and see what's changing so that you can make decisions to stay in business.
And so that's actually one of the questions I was going to ask for maybe the entrepreneur that's out there and they're feeling that pinch. The mindset they may get is, I don't know if I can afford to invest in professional services or hire someone to help me with taxes or advisors. It's going to cost more. So how might you communicate to them and help them see that investing in themselves and could be a really good investment? How do you tend to communicate that?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we talk about is what are they looking for? Because the reason they're calling me is because they aren't getting something, whatever it is, they aren't getting it now. And if we can communicate, good example, last week we had a construction firm and they weren't getting good information, and she was complaining about how if their accountant had talked to them early in 2024, they wouldn't have had to pay so much in taxes. So we gave them our solution, and they're like, oh, that costs too much. And you were looking for advice, you were looking for planning, you were looking for strategies. This is what our price is for doing that stuff. You wouldn't try and do heart surgery on yourself. You'd go to a specialist. We're specialists. We know the industry. We know what works, what doesn't work. And if you don't want our assistance, okay, I'm all right with that.
I like to help people think about the flip side, the cost of not getting help, right? You could definitely not fix your roof. It will save you money initially, but eventually that challenge is going to get more costly. And would you want a $50 roof? Would you want that cheap discount? I'm a cheap discount heart surgeon. Okay, no, thank you. I would like the normal priced one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good example. So, Jon, if people who are tuning in would want to learn more about you and your business, where could they go and what should they do?
Sure. They can go to our website, which is nealgroup.net. It's NEAL group.net. Look around. We've got a little bot that comes up, and if they have a question about something, they can chat with us and we'll answer the question. If they're looking for, I want somebody to do my taxes because I haven't filed in a couple of years, fine. We can schedule a free consultation to see if we can help. And then we work on what I'll call fixed pricing. We don't charge by the hour. You tell us that you want this done, we can say that's going to be $1,250 to do. And no surprises. no, oh, it took me whatever, 7 hours instead of 5 hours, so I've got to charge you more, that type of thing. But yeah, they're welcome to visit our website, see the people that you're working with. We've got pictures of everybody up there. If you're in the Milwaukee area, feel free to come to our office and we'll meet face to face. Otherwise, we have clients all over the country. We meet via Zoom, on the phone, whatever's convenient.
Excellent. I really like that you have fixed pricing. In some industries, it might be impractical, but it's nice to know what you're going to pay for something. You ask somebody to do something, and somewhere they give you a quote, and they're like, "It took me a lot longer, so I'm going to charge you multiple times from what I initially told you." I'm like, that's not cool. So that's really helpful. Did you always offer fixed pricing, or is that something that you've pretty much? I know there's a lot of people in the bookkeeping world that do hourly. They're used to doing hourly, and a lot of people are trying to get out of doing hourly. They struggle with that.
To me, going to fixed pricing is a win-win, because you don't sit there going, I've got this question, but if I ask John, he's going to send me a bill. So I won't ask him until tax time. Whereas if you asked us now in August, we could take care of it. You'd know what was going on, and we'd save you some money probably. And it's included in the price of the return. So you already paid for it. Why not call us?
That's a very good point. If people aren't calling in to get their questions answered because they're afraid of a fee, then that can be an issue. It's kind of like in the health world too. If people don't go see their doctor because they don't want to pay the cost, but then they're getting health issues. So that's a very good example, my friend. So you've shared some great insights. Is there something that you could share that you've learned on your journey as a parting thought that might help others on theirs? It could be related to business. It could be related to anything, just something that floats up that you'd care to share.
Yeah, I guess a couple things. One, for the consultants and whoever's listening in, don't be cheap. Charge what you think you're worth, and you're probably undercharging. There's been some coaches that I've had that say, figure out what your price is and then double it. And then, what was the other thing I was going to say? Be empathetic with the people that you're working with, because as the saying goes, they don't care what you know until they know that you care. So don't come in spouting off all the technical jargon to show how smart you are. Get to know the people first and talk with them and get on the same level as they are with feelings and emotions and whatnot, and you'll be successful. We have clients that we've started their business with them 20 years ago. They're still clients because, again, as we say when we pick up new clients, welcome to the family.
That's a refreshing way of looking at doing business. Business is about people. It's about relationships. People can lose that sometimes when they're trying to grow or they're panicking of going in the wrong direction. Thank you, John, very much for that.
My pleasure.
As mentioned, if you're looking for an advisor that might be able to help increase profits, nealgroup.net. That's nealgroup.net. John, you've been a real pleasure to chat with. I appreciate you being the amplifier that you are. And until next time, keep on amplifying. Thank you very much.
Very good. Have a good day.
To show your support, take a moment to amplify this message by sharing it online. To connect with me or gain more business growth insights, visit www.growthamplifiers.com. Thank you for your support.